Hi folks, how you doing? Today I am going to try and turn this lure that I designed, which is a big crankbait I use for pike. Originally made a wooden one like this guy here, and then that was so good I made a mold of it and ended up with this guy here. And now what I'm intending on doing is trying to turn this into a floating glide bait with one of these sort of glide aid paddles on the back. So we're going to mold some out of urethane because I've still got the mold. I have not used it for 2-3 years, well, 2 years maybe. 18 months, call it. So I've not used it for 18 months. It might be problematic. It's just a silicone mold, but we're going to give it a go. So, bit of an experiment this one. We'll see how we get on. Jump in, let's get building. So the first thing we've got to do when it comes to these molds and urethane is just make up the wire harness. Now I've got a length of wire 2.5 times the length of the lure, and it's 1.2 mil thick. This is beefy stuff and it's meant for these bigger lures. This is what I prefer using for pike. Okay, so we're going to start with the line tie, and then with this end part here I'm just wanting to bend that up at a right angle, and that is just in case you get a pull out. Just going to hold that in place here, and then with my other pliers I'm going to see where the first bend is going to go, which is here. Once I know that, I'm going to bend it down at a right angle, and hopefully, yep, that's good. Yeah, that's much more like it. Rings in the right place, and then I'm going to measure just by eye where I want the final bend to start coming down, and that's there. Yeah, that looks bang on. Snip this off. There, we're going to put another bend like this. There we go. Use the pressure of the wire on itself just to lock it into place to see. So I'll go with 10 grams in the middle for now. Let's see what that does. With this stuff, you'll see we can always drill it and add a bit more weight if we want. So 10 grams. So I'm going to use, this is a bit of lead sheet. So tin snips, that's 12 grams, so we'll put some at the front. So I'm just going to start bending this, just pop it on roughly about there, so it's just to the front, and I think I'll pop another one round about there. So now I'm just going to put in some little pegs here just to hold this in place. Yeah, that's gone down fine. Okay, so there's a few things we need to make this work. This is my 2-part urethane resin. It's quick cure, Zencast stuff. It's really, really good. These are well, glass bubbles. It's filler powder, and these are tiny little glass spheres, and they, when you add them, depending on your ratio to this stuff, you can get the resin to float, because without the glass balls it'll sink like a stone. So we need those. A couple of other important things: a mask, some gloves, and some eye protection. So I'll get them on. Part A. $5 grams of filler. Let's start mixing that in. Then part 2. Mix them all together. So I've just taken the clamp off. Oh, I hope this has worked. Okay. It's looking good. Okay, we're doing okay. That's great. Oh, we've got a bit of a... We might have a bubble on top. Not a problem, I can fill that. But as long as we've got our overall shape, that's great. Grand. Let's get this cut off. I'm really pleased with that. I'm just going to clean up the rings, and we can do that with a knife. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get some nice thin super glue and some bicarbonate of soda. Baking powder is too fine particles, and it tends to, when you add your glue, it can roll off and not soak in. So yeah, it's odd. I've made that mistake. So go with bicarb if you can get it. I had thought I could use the balloons, the little glass beads. Well, should have been easier than that to get some super glue, but here we go. Just gonna dab a little bit on, soaking in. Give it a little sand. The baits I was thinking of making, and I've never made a glide bait like this before, they have a plate in the tail here. It acts a bit like an ice jig, where when you cast and you jerk and it starts to glide, it means it glides a bit longer. That's my thought. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, but that's what I'm going on with this guy. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to start doing a little bit more planning here. So now I've just marked down all the things I need to know, what my mix was, how much resin I used, and what weight and where we put them. So I think we're going to use this bit of Lexan. So I'm just going to cut out a bit of paper here. So let's fold this in half. We'll start big and we are going to go smaller. I'm already going smaller. So there's our glide paddle shape. I'm going to pop it onto here and then cut this out, and I might have to use the machine to sand it, we'll see. I cut this out with tin snips and it's Lexan polycarbonate. So next I'm just going to shape it on my little sander here. There we go. Well, there's our Lexan lip. Okay, so I've just drawn down a line here and I'm going to start the cut, I think, with a fine saw and then do my best to follow that with a larger saw. Now I've got something for the larger saw to follow. Oh, it doesn't, I hate doing this. I could use the Dremel. So we're going to glue this in, so one thing we kind of should do is just mark in roughly where it's going to go there, and then just give a little bit of a rough up on the side that's going in, and that just allows our glue something to stick to. Go, that's fine. Let's pop some on. Just a bit of medium super glue, and it's just to hold it for now, and we'll see if it actually does what I want it to do, which is go and glide. Okay, so it seems like my mic wasn't on, which is a bit annoying, but all I did was put on some white primer and then some medium yellow, just standard opaque paint. I'm going to put on a layer of pearl key lime green just for now, just to get a bit of sparkle. Transparent green. Okay, now we'll put some stripes on, and this is just some dark olive green. Okay, gold now through some netting. Good old fluorescent orange. Some transparent red next. Wow, that's good, I like that. Colour shift green. Well, I think we are good to go and put on some eyes and get this clear coated. Well, that's come out real good. That's some beastie. It's a big lure, 20 centimeters, and weighs 55 grams, so nearly 2 ounces. So it's a big heavy chunk of a lure, but really good action on it. And I've discovered what these plates do now. They act just like some ice jigs act and allow the bait just to glide along. And when this just about floats, so it's really just breaking the surface with the weight of these hooks, and the moment you twitch the rod tip, it dives down, and then a couple more bangs and you can get it to really glide along in this kind of action. Really hard to show you in the bathtub, but what can I do? Anyway, really pleased with how it came out, and I've got a couple of reservations. I'm not sure about the hook placement. I think that needs to be further back. So I've got a couple of ideas how to rectify that. This paddle may be too long, but we'll see. We'll see. I think if I move the hook back, it shouldn't affect hookup rates too much. And besides, it's for pike, and when a pike sees this, it tends to just grab the whole thing, and I certainly can't grab it without getting hooked anyway. So we'll see how it goes, but overall pretty pleased, and great to repurpose an old mold and make it into something new. So really good. I want to thank everybody ever so much for sticking with the video this far, and thanks also for all the kind comments. It really lets me know that you guys enjoy watching me make lures. So that's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, if you liked the video, please leave me a thumbs up, and better yet, if you guys could subscribe, that would be brilliant, and I'll see you on the next build.